Good morning, everybody. Sorry it's been so long since we put anything out. Had a couple of health issues had to deal with. Hurt my knee. So things have slowed down here. But welcome back to the Redneck Workshop. Today we're going to be working on the boat. What we have is a raw water washdown pump went out on us, so we're going to replace it. This is an older model SureFlow. This is the replacement for this. It's not too bad of a job. It's a nice pump. It lasted 6 years of salt water, so really can't complain. First off, let me tell you that you can shop around a lot. You can go on the internet. You can go to local places, to find the deal that you can live with. But I'm going to make one suggestion. Remember, the local guy that has the part on Saturday afternoon, and you got a broke boat and you want to go out, that's where you're going to spend your money. However, during the week, you've got a couple of weeks to wait, you want to save 10, 15 bucks, so you don't do business there. Well, what happens is he can't keep his doors open, so that when you really need it, he's not there anymore. So try to support your local businesses. Yeah, you may spend 15, 20 bucks more, but you're keeping your business local. You're keeping your money local. It makes your community work out better, and when you need something on Saturday afternoon, he's there. You can't get on the internet and get something from Chicago within an hour. It just doesn't work that way. So remember, sometimes it pays to patronize your local businesses. Yeah, you will pay a little more, but you get advice, you get help, and they're there. They usually have the thing that you need. So just remember that when you start doing stuff. And to that effect, I want to give a great shout out to Discount Marine Salvage in Fort Pierce, Florida. We've been going over there for years for various reasons, but we love the place. Huge warehouse. We'll try to post a couple of pictures within the video if I can figure out how to do it. They have everything under the sun inside that place. It's just cool to walk around it, look, poke around. You never know what you're going to find. Yesterday when we were in there, they actually had 2 Nordhaven giant anchors for $11,000 each. They were incredible. Point I'm making is Pentar SureFlow. I found this on the internet from a place with free shipping for 110 bucks. Well, I went ahead and paid Marine Connections price of $129.95 because we were there. They had it. I'm supporting local businesses. And the staff there are incredible. The stuff they have, they're open on Saturdays. It's just, it's support your local business. And if you are ever in Fort Pierce, please go by there, say hello, look around. You will be amazed at what's inside that place. But let's open this up and take a look. Here's the old one. They don't even make this anymore, and according to SureFlow and Pentar's website, this one here is the replacement for this. So here's the old. Let's get this open and take a look at what we got here. We'll keep this. We got these wirings. This plug I desperately need because that's going to hook up to the wiring harness in the boat. And what you have in the box, of course, is your obligatory instructions. You have all the different little fittings. And another cardboard box to get rid of. We have the new pump. And we even have an all-plastic washdown hose. That's kind of cute. And it is literally all plastic. However, there's a spring down in there. I hope it's stainless. The advantage of an all plastic is it cheap? Yeah. However, salt water eats everything. So this is liable to last longer than a metal one or aluminum one or whatever else in that salt water. So I'll probably put it in the boat. They do give you 2 heat shrink connectors. So that's good. Here's the new motor, pump I should say. We have our ground in their power, and I think this is the pressure switch. When it reaches a certain pressure, it cuts the pump off. The mounting holes appear to be, yes, exactly the same, so that's good. It'll bolt up to the same location. We have an arrow on here that shows us direction of flow. It looks like it's still got some fluid in here from where they did the factory test. So what are we going to do here? We are going to probably route our wires up and over like that. And we will come in here and we will straighten this out and we will cut this one off. We will back strip. And folks, when you're dealing with marine stuff, can you go down to your local automotive place and buy a bunch of wire? Absolutely. Is that the wire you really want to use in a marine environment? No. You want to make sure that your wire is what is called tinned. They actually coat the copper in a little bit of tinning material, which helps fight against corrosion and other issues. So please, when you're doing marine stuff, try to always use tinned wire. It'll save you in the long run. These, of course, are heat shrink butt connectors, and I think I'm going to get some heat shrink tubing to go over that as a bonus. If I can figure out where stuff is. Have something go over that. That will. So heat shrink is your friend. I try to always use it on everything. Just an added layer of protection. And salt water. If you're not from a saltwater environment, you probably won't understand. That stuff will find a way to get into everything. And once it starts to corrode, it's over. But crimp it enough, and always give them a tug to make sure that you have actually engaged the wire. Red to red, black to black. Fairly simple, fairly straightforward. And I cannot stress enough of buying a good pair of crimpers. These are Blue Point from Snap-on. You pay a little bit more for them, but man, are they good. And with that connection crimped, we're good. And then you can either use a heat gun or a little torch. The idea is not to catch it on fire, but just get it to collapse down and activate the adhesive. And you'll see it when it sucks up and around the wire. Because the heat not only sucks it down, but it also, there's a, in your better connectors, there's actually an epoxy type stuff in there that the heat activates. And there we go. And once you get that, I'll bring it halfway over and across. And the same thing again, except this stuff is just more of an abrasion resistance and just another layer of protection. You just don't want to get it too hot that you catch it on fire. But you see, once it sucks down, it conforms to everything and helps seal everything up. Is that step necessary? No. Is it an added layer of protection? Yes. And then we'll put this wear tube back over it. Just fair warning, those are a little warm. Don't burn your fingers. Smarter person than me would probably go have a glass of tea and let things cool off, but that ain't me. We'll get her together. And just like they did, we're going to put a little dab of tape around each end. Help hold everything together. And then we'll get some zip ties and we'll zip tie that together so that it looks nice and it's held together. You can never have too many zip ties of different sizes, and they make them in all kinds of colors so you can get whatever tickles your fancy. And the idea is neatness does count. People see sloppy work, they just assume that you do bad work, so only takes a couple of minutes to sit here and tie them together, make it look nice. And not only that, but by tying them together, making it look nice, you know everything's together. It's where it should be. It's not flopping around, causing abrasion, wear points. It's just good, solid practice. And these things are cheap enough, you can even buy them at Harbor Freight. And we're just going to sit here and bring this all together where it looks reasonable and everybody's tight together. Then you just come back and you trim them up. And there we have it. We are pretty much ready for installation. Now, let's talk for a minute about installation. These guys provide you with some different methods, 3/8 to 1/2 inch. On this stuff, you want to get you some kind of thread sealant. I prefer, and this stuff here is just from Napa, but it's called thread sealant. It's with thread sealant with Teflon. It's white. Put you some on these threads, screw this up, and it helps seal it up so that you don't have any leaks. The only problem I'll tell you about that stuff is it's just like anti-seize. It gets on you and it gets everywhere. So, you know, probably want to pull out some rubber gloves or something when you're playing with that stuff, but that's up to you. This job is not that hard. This pump is held in 4 stainless steel screws. Mine mounts in the bilge about like this. I got a plate that's right here and the wall's right here. The output screws on this side, the input screws on this side. And what I highly suggest is that you use one of these, hand tighten only, vacuum side, and then again it shows you the direction of flow. And inside here, this is a strainer. There's a screen in here, and if you're running through some mud or some seaweed or something like that, pump sucks it up. This strainer will keep it out of the pump. Now it may clog up and you may have to take that off and clean it, but that's a whole lot cheaper than ruining a pump. So what this will do is this will screw on here. And what we do is we get some of this, and you can see how stringy that stuff is, and you coat the threads. Now this is one of those times when you don't have to put a ton of this stuff. All you got to do is coat the threads up. As you can see, it's kind of stringy and goopy, and it does get on everything. But all you have to do, and remember, these fittings are hand tightened. You don't have to get a giant pair of channel locks out and grill them tight, and and then wonder why you're breaking stuff off. It's just hand tightened. Gives you two little wings, get her tightened up, and we're done. Now all I gotta do is get back in the boat. 4 stainless steel screws. This plugs up. I'll put some of this on this side and this side, hook my 2 fittings up, and away you go. Now let's talk for a minute about fasteners. This is a stainless steel band clamp. It's been in the boat 6 years. You can see it ain't exactly fared too good. Always replace these and get one that says all stainless steel. Now, let's talk about stainless steel for a minute. Everybody's under the impression that never rusts. Well, that's not necessarily true. Let's take a look at it and break the word stainless. It means it stains less than carbon steel. There's a less carbon content in the metal here. Will stainless rust? Absolutely. You can see it right here. But it takes a lot longer, and depending on the grade of the stainless, it depends on whether or not it rusts at all. Dive knives, depending on the manufacturer and the material. Excuse me, the material. If you don't keep them clean, they will rust. They get rust specks on them. Your fishing tackle that's stainless, if you don't keep it clean and lubed and wiped down, it will develop rust stains. That's because it does, pardon me, have carbon in there, and it will start to rust at some point. Now, there are stainless steel alloys that will never rust, but Lord, you pay for them. So just keep that in mind. And then there's some other issues with those stainless pieces. But, Lowe's, all stainless steel band clamps, the same size for a 2-pack was $1.78. Don't skimp for $1.78 on something that can sink your boat or cost you worse thousands of dollars because water filled up the bilge and ruined your wiring, and it ruined your weekend for $1.78 for 2 of them. That brings it down to what, 80 cents a piece? No, more than that, 90 cents a piece. I mean, whatever it is, $1 a piece. It's still cheap. Use good fasteners. Put new ones in there, and that way you don't have to worry about it. Now, when I put this back in there, it's getting 2 brand new ones of these, and I don't have to worry about it for another 6 to 10 years, hopefully. We use this quite often. We go out on the boat all the time. So, 6 years on the pump, okay, I can't complain. And you do get new fittings each time, so, you can always keep a few of those spare. But that's ready to go back in, and what this is a company's Pentar SureFlow Blaster 2. It's 12 volt DC. Part number is 4238121E07. 7.5 amp max. It's 3.5 gallon per minute or 13.2 liters per minute. And this is a raw water wash down pump. There are differences. Not all pumps can do the same thing. You have trash pumps. You have solid waste pumps. You have pumps for just fresh water. So if you have a larger boat that has a built-in head, you're going to have a freshwater pump in there. You're also probably going to have another pump for a freshwater wash down. You're also going to have a different pump that flushes the toilet. It's a macerator. It chews everything up and puts it in the holding tank. You have macerator pumps in your fish boxes that can chew up scales and leaves and trash and whatever goes through there. So these are not created the same. So make sure you replace a pump with the same thing that you're removing. If not, you're going to cause yourself a lot of problems. Now, what failed in this? Well, as you can see, salt water gets in there, it corrodes it up, and it locks the motors up. It happens. We keep it sprayed down with LPS and some other products, and quite frankly, it lasted 6 years in a saltwater environment. I can't complain. I just can't. Well, that was the project for today. We're going to have some more videos coming. We're going to have a review of the Carly lift kit coming up here soon. You will be quite surprised about that one. I know I was thoroughly happy with it. And we'll show you the final results on that. And then we'll maybe we can take some video of replacing this in the boat. But remember, get out the shop, do something, be careful. Think about what you're doing, go slow, take plenty of pictures, and you shouldn't have a problem. And there are plenty of people out there that will help you if you ask for the help. Most of these boat stores have no problem spending 10-20 minutes with you, talking to you, and telling you how to walk through stuff, especially the actual boat repair places that sell parts and stuff like that. They're there to help you. They love boating just like you do. So don't be afraid to ask or to try doing something yourself. Just, if you've got directions, read them, follow them, use the proper products, and don't skimp, and do it right. Tie stuff up. Use the zip ties, use the tape, use the sealant products. The stainless steel, make sure you use an isolator stuff. There's several different products out there, Teflon paste, and stuff like that, because you have dissimilar metals usually when you're putting stainless into something, and that can cause some real corrosion issues, but that's a whole nother subject. But just like I said, read the directions, follow them, and you should have no problems. Take it one step at a time. Sometimes the project can look like they're daunting when they're really not. In working with boats, the biggest thing is getting my fat butt down in the little bitty holes and trying to squirrel around in there and do stuff. But, if you take it slow, you get things done. But y'all have a great day. Get out and enjoy life. Make something.